Happy Independence Day! Happy 4th of July! Happy whatever you guys want to call it. I don't care. This is a flash podcast. I've decided that it's time to talk because I've got a great scripted one coming tomorrow, but I don't have anything scripted for tonight. So I have to make a lot of cuts. So I decided to make something up right now. This is Gene, and you're listening to Dumbasses Talking Politics. So let's talk about the 4th of July. It was a great weekend. It was a pretty great weekend. It got kind of crappy in the middle of Sunday, but outside of that, so on Thursday, of course, I had the day off. That was awesome. We decided to go to the San Diego Fair. Me, Josie, and two of her daughters and her daughter's boyfriend decided to go to the San Diego Fair. Now, I hate the San Diego Fair, and the reason is because I can never afford it. It is extremely expensive. The good news is we actually got into the fair for free. I think we spent literally $6. We bought 2 tickets. Those 2 tickets were about $10. Then we actually ended up with 3 more tickets outside of the fair. People just giving them away. It was pretty awesome. So we went into the fair. I think we got there around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was great. The first thing we needed to do was eat. I did not eat that day. I was starving. I told Josie I was starving. I told the girls. And everyone else was starving too. So Josie decided to, Josie didn't decide anything. I decided to say, okay, let's look at this place. It was literally the 4th stand down the line. 4th stand down the line. And they had sausages, and these sausages were awesome. They were huge, and they were filled with cheese and jalapenos. They looked fantastic. And they had a big hot dog bun that could actually hold the sausage. And the sausage had bell peppers, both red and green bell peppers, and onions. And I looked and I saw they had mustard. I was in 7th heaven. So I went for the sausage. Josie is a huge fan of the turkey legs. And so she decided, okay, I'm going to get a turkey leg. Now, last year I had a turkey leg. They were kind of dry. So I didn't go for the turkey leg this year. Well, Josie picked a really good turkey leg, or her person picked a great turkey leg, because I got news for you. This thing was not dry. So Josie got a turkey leg, and then Josie's daughter decided she wanted a brick of fries. And I mean a cinder block of fries. These weren't even a brick of fries. It was a cinder block of fries. And she got these fries not only, and there's Josie, she decides to text me. Okay, well, these fries were not just a big brick. It had cheese, chili, and it had cheese and chili covering the fries. This was awesome. So now, and then we bought a lemonade. So here's why I hate the fair. We bought a order of fries, a turkey leg, and basically a sausage with onions and bell peppers. $50. Oh, I forgot. We did get a drink. Okay, so the drink was only about $10. So I gotta give them something. So it was so good. And we were done the rest of the day. I could not eat absolutely any more. Now, I didn't have to pay for her other daughter because the boyfriend took care of that. And she ordered, I don't know what she got. I think he definitely got a sausage, and I think she got a turkey leg. But the food was awesome. Heartburn all over the place, and that guaranteed I was going to save money on rides, because there's no way I'm going on a ride after that whole mess. I was just on fire at that point. Maybe I should stick some of the rides in there, because we did actually go on rides. Oh, no, I went on one ride. Josie went on 2 rides, and Jenny, we bought tickets for her. So she went on that chick has such balls. I can't even believe it. Some of the rides she went on. You know what? I lied. I'm going to post these videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to tell you, guys, go visit this YouTube channel. These rides are insane at the San Diego Fair. I'm a bit of a coward. I'll explain that why later. So after we ate, we decided to go buy tickets. So in order to get 70 tickets, the average ride was 5 tickets. It was $50. Okay. So I spent another $50. There's a second $100, or a second $50 already gone. Spent $100. Okay. So we buy the tickets, and Jenny, which is Josie's daughter, goes on this ride that I can't believe. I've never seen anything like it. It's a terrifying ride. I do not like heights. I can go on any roller coaster, but I do not like the feeling of being dropped. I do not like the twisting feeling. I don't like being held up, 100 feet above the ground, which is 10 stories. And that's exactly what Jenny went on, and she wanted to go on it twice. And this was absolutely insane. So basically, Josie went on a couple of rides with her, just because she had to. Eventually Josie decided to drag me onto a ride. Now, I didn't know anything about this ride. Absolutely zero. Okay, and this was the only ride I went on. I'll never go on another one in that place, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. This ride, they belt you in like you're blasting to the moon, and then what ended up happening was, I thought this was going to be a really simple ride. It was going to be one of those spinny rides that hanged in the ground. It ended up not being that. The thing went 90 degrees vertical. I was just, no. And I swear to God, Josie, I actually said to Josie, you owe me sex. This was absolutely terrible. It was just, my body was jerked. Now, here's my problem with rides like that. These are fairs, which means these guys tear down these rides and rebuild them all the time. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this harness that's holding me in, keeping me alive, is going to break, and I'm going to be sent 7,500 feet in the southern direction, and I'm going to die. That's what I thought was going to happen. It didn't happen, thank God. And by the way, that ride felt like it took forever. And then, of course, we're in 90 degrees. We're probably about 4 stories, 5 stories up. I don't like heights. And I'm looking down, and I'm like, I'm going to die. There's just no way I'm going to survive this whole thing. Well, I did. I got off that ride. I told Josie, no, don't ever do that to me again. That was bad. And she had a great time on it. And well, whatever. We had to blow off a couple of tickets, so they decided to play that ping pong ball in the or that ring on the Coke bottle thing. Of course, they blew the rest of their tickets on that and didn't win a damn thing. So, and you know what I'm talking about. It's just terrible. So after that, we were exhausted. I didn't realize we had been there 6 hours. But before we left, I forgot. You can't forget this. So Josie decided she wanted to get, or not Josie, but her daughter, Jenny, decided she wanted to get fried Oreos. Anything you can think of as far as a food product is fried at a fair. So she bought fried Oreos. Now, she could have gotten fried Snickers. She could have gotten fried Twinkies. She could have gotten fried pizza. She could have gotten deep fried turkey. She could have gotten deep fried anything. I'm sure there was deep fried goat somewhere in that place. I don't know. But she decided to get deep fried Oreos. Now, I had deep fried stuff last year, and it basically just tastes like a big bundle of fried bread with chocolate in the middle. So I wasn't interested. Not to mention the 14-foot long sausage, jalapeno cheese sausage with mustard, onions, and bell peppers was not sitting well with me. So I decided I'm not gonna do that stuff. So we bought her that. She ate it. They got 6. Josie ate 1. I don't know how she did it. She had a 14-pound turkey leg. Where they got these turkeys? Where do they get these turkeys? So she bought this turkey leg. We ate, and we left. We decided we're going to take off. And we get in the car. Everything worked out well. We actually got right back to our car pretty quickly. And it was time to go to the second part of our 4th of July. The second part was the party at Josie's sister's house. Now, Josie did not want to have anything to do with this party. She was exhausted. I don't know why. We spent 6 hours in the hot sun riding on very traumatic rides, eating food that our bodies are not used to. It was bad, but we had to go. We had to go. Her other daughter, Ivy, was there, and so we decided, okay, we're gonna go over there. Now, I won't lie. I was hoping Josie would sit there and say, "Do you want me to drop you off first?" I would have said, "Yeah, drop me off. I'm done." Blah blah blah. She didn't. She never asked. And we ended up going to her sister's house. And now, here's the thing. Josie is a Mexican citizen. She is a legal resident here. And Mexicans drink a lot. And I walked in, and the first thing they had was some sort of fish that was deep fried. I think it was a tilapia. I don't know what it was. It looked like an angelfish. I don't know what it was. But they had this deep fried fish. And everyone kept saying, "Hey, you want to try this fish? You want to try this fish?" And I was like, no, I can't. I mean, my stomach, I've got dead pig in my stomach that is mixed with jalapeno and cheese. Not to mention the mustard and onions and bell peppers. I was really jacked up. And then I had just enough carbohydrates from the bun to make it that it wouldn't come out. It was bad. It was just really bad. It wasn't going to work for me. So, no, I can't do it. And then everyone drinks beer there. And of course, I'm already feeling like my stomach is the size of a house. I feel pregnant. This is what pregnant chicks must feel like. I already felt that. And I just couldn't do it. And even though the fish probably was pretty good, deep fried anything is great. But I already had enough deep fried that night. So we sat back and they offered me beer. I had like a Michelob Ultra Light, which I think is water without the pH balance in it. I don't know what I had. It was terrible. It didn't make me feel any better. It didn't make me feel drunk. I think I would have needed to drink 50 cans of that stuff just to get gosh, I need to pee now. It was bad. And I decided, okay, I'm not going to drink. Because if I drink anything that's real, like Modelo, because that's what Mexicans drink, or Tecate, which they don't drink Tecate, but they drink Modelo, I would have fallen asleep right on the couch. Now, the only good news about that, the Dodgers were playing on television. They were all watching the Dodgers because they were playing the Padres. I live in San Diego, but I am a Dodger fan. So I was able to watch the Dodgers beat the crap out of San Diego that night. Of course, that was the only game they beat them, was the first one. So I went to, we finally decided, you know what, time for fireworks. So we drove about, 3-4 miles, and I saw probably the best fireworks show I have seen in a very, very, very long time. This crap was Disneyland fireworks. It was absolutely awesome. And it only took a half hour to get through. I was just like, I'm not a huge fireworks fan, but I had to educate the girls on, okay, well, why do they have fireworks on the 4th of July? And had to explain to them that, well, because bombs bursting in the air, the shooting and all of that stuff, it's part of the bomb thing. It's part of the war, except they didn't have a lot of colors, right? So I had to explain that, but that was okay. It was really awesome. Ivy kind of complained because she wanted to be really close to the fireworks, but we could not find the park it was being held. And, well, whatever. It's okay. So I thought, okay, we're going to go back to her sister's house, and I'm going to go comatose on the couch. And Josie pulled off, and we actually went home. Now, I don't usually spend the nights at Josie's anymore because we've been having a lot of problems with our kids and things like that. So she dropped me off at home. I was good to go. I walked into my place. I took a shower. I drank a few beers. I ended up going to bed at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because I started writing, and that's what it was. I just started writing. I really enjoyed it. It was a great 4th of July. Now, that's where there are consequences for bad decisions. The consequence for bad decisions is a holiday typically feels like a weekend or a Sunday or something like that. Well, here's the reality. You had to work the next day. The fantastic news is I knew it was going to be really slow the next day. The terrible news is that it ended up not being very slow the next day. We had a lot of problems. We were able to fix those problems. That was the good news. But I told my boss, you know what, I'm exhausted. I really don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. He sent me home about an hour early. Good for him. I mean, thanks for sending me home an hour early, and now I have to use an hour of PTO. An hour of PTO. That's barely worth it. I should have stayed the extra hour. But that's how jacked up I was that day. So that was the 4th of July. So let's talk about the Independence Day weekend, because it wasn't all about that. And by the way, you notice I'm not talking about Trump's Independence Day celebration because I didn't see it. I didn't care. I was too busy living my life. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Just living my life. So Saturday, Josie decides to give me a buzz and say, okay, no, not Saturday, Friday. Josie says on Friday, come over. And I'm sitting back, I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing a lot of things on Friday. And I say, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. No, come over. So, okay, I come over. So I Uber over to her place because I'd been drinking. So I figured, okay, I'll Uber there. I Uber over to Josie's place. Josie buys me beer. And she's got her cousin and her cousin's boyfriend there. So, okay. Awesome. So Josie and I are sitting back. We're drinking. We're all drinking. Josie is smoking like a chimney, which she doesn't normally do. Everyone's having a great time. We end up watching a movie. Maybe I'll talk about this movie later. Maybe it was a pretty jacked up movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. It wasn't a logical movie. It was a weird movie, but we ended up seeing a movie. So we saw this movie and we went to bed, and it was a great Friday night. The next morning we woke up. No, that's a lie. I woke up. Here's the problem with being in IT. You end up on call. You've got to be able to service the company 24/7. Now, we only have one day where we're closed, and it's Sunday. We're open Saturday. So I thought, okay, Josie, I gotta work. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Deal with it. Well, oh, Jesus. Our systems went down. Let me put it to you that way. In a 6-hour period, I received 109 phone calls, and I only dropped 11 of them. This wasn't a good thing. This was a bad thing. Josie became very annoyed, especially after 10 o'clock. And when you've been drinking all night, the last thing you need to do is start answering phone calls at 6:30, 7 o'clock. And that's what we ended up doing. It was absolutely god-awful. I tried to contact people to say, okay, what's going on, folks? This stuff is not working. I can't get it to work. What is going on? We've got a real problem. So we went through that till about 3 o'clock. And Josie was furious. She wasn't furious, but she was just like, really? These people keep calling you? Blah, 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 blah. Josie is a receptionist for a dental office. So she doesn't understand that, sometimes when you're dealing with IT, you've got to answer phone calls in the middle of the day. And I was on call. She knew I was on call. She just never, and she's been with me when I've been on call more than once. The problem is, this was the first time she was on call with me where I actually had major disasters. Good news, all the stuff was fixed by about 2, and no, nothing was fixed. It was handled at 2 o'clock. Things became normalized at 2 o'clock. The problems were not fixed. I spent all Monday and Tuesday helping to fix this garbage. But the reality is, I was home free on Saturday afternoon by 2 o'clock. So Josie and I saw 3 films that were really just, wow, bizarre. 2 of the films were chick flicks, which I don't care for chick flicks. And one of them was a flick that I actually wanted to watch because I heard some really good things about it. So the first film we actually saw, oh Lord, what was it called? Oh yeah, 7 Pounds. That's with Will Smith and a bunch of other people. And basically, the movie was actually not too bad because you really didn't know what was going on until the very end. And it was a really heartbreaking film. I mean, if you are a manic depressant, I wouldn't go and watch it. Maybe I'll do a podcast about it. It was good. It made 168 million in the box office, but I think that was because it was Will Smith. And they had it was a decent film. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I don't want to call it a chick flick per se, but it was actually pretty close to a chick flick. It was a good movie. It was okay. I won't ever see it again, but I'm glad I saw it. The second movie was just freaking twisted beyond all belief, called The Perfection. And by the way, these are all Netflix films. This movie was a brain screw. It was not a happy movie. It was a very depressing movie. It was the kind of movie you're going to get pissed off at the end of the film. I'm glad I saw it. Simply because I thought, okay, this movie's weird enough for me that I can handle it and I'm okay with it. But I mean, this is a movie I'm going to have to review. The ending was stupid as all crap. And I'm not exactly sure where these people were coming from. But I mean, it was definitely a strange movie. This movie did not make it in the box office. I'm not even sure if it even got to the theaters. And the last movie was a movie called Piku. This was a Korean film. No, Indonesian? Yeah, an Indonesian film. Malaysian, I don't know. A Far East film. It wasn't in the big countries. This film was really, 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 really disturbing. And I heard of the movie before. I knew it won some awards. So I decided, okay, I'm going to watch this. And Josie spent about 3 minutes watching it, and she said, I don't want to see this film. But we ended up watching it anyway. And you can see we had some time on our hands. So we watched it and it was just like, oh my God, this is so jacked up. And then we had, well, let me tell you about this film. This film is about a 2-year-old whose mother commits suicide because her father beats the crap out of her mother. And the mother was going to kill the 2-year-old, but the mother just couldn't do it. So she just decided to take pills and commit suicide. And the father is on a business trip. And the daughter has to walk around and kind of survive for a while. It is just like, huh? Would anyone let a kid do what the kid did? And the mother is obviously a piece of garbage, self-centered narcissist. But, I mean, the father was no better. The girl had access to a cell phone. She knew how to answer the cell phone. But, I mean, what was terrible is all the stuff she had to go through. She had to worry about an iron that the dumbass father didn't decide to turn off. And the iron was actually burning. She had to worry about water running. We're not even sure how water ended up running in the kitchen sink. But right underneath the water... Oh, it's Indian. That's what it was. It wasn't Malaysian. It was an Indian film. Sorry. The water was running and it started spilling over, which means... And on the floor was a surge protector with all sorts of electric stuff plugged in. And it wasn't a protector, it was an extender, which means electricity wasn't going to be cut off. So you had to worry about her actually stepping into the water and getting electrocuted. She sat up on a ledge because she wanted to get out. She was hungry. She wanted to get... This is a 2-year-old. We're not talking it's me. Okay? She wanted to get out. She stood up on a ledge and no one said anything. No one saw anything. And the kid is 6 stories up or 5 stories up, whatever it is. No one did anything about it. The father answered her phone. She answered her father's phone calls twice and he suddenly decides to come home. He's like, oh, dude, really? You just beat the crap out of your wife. You think the wife isn't having problems? Oh, I forgot about this. The little girl locks herself into a refrigerator. The little girl is playing with the pills that mommy took to commit suicide and starts eating them. This is... Oh my God, what's wrong with these Indians? This is just a terrible, terrible film. And everyone except the kid is just a terrible person. People are sitting back and wondering where this gal is, why she hasn't left the house or anything, but no one checks. The father doesn't seem to care. Half of his argument is with the kid. He keeps telling the kid to hand the mom the phone. Of course, the mom's dead. I mean, you don't know if she's dead, but there's no way. Somebody moves after a while. It was a horror film. It was an absolutely terrible film, but it was good. It was good. It was just, you look at the kid and you feel so bad for the kid and you figure the kid, can you imagine spending a full day with your dead mom while your dad is fighting with the dead mom on the phone because he thinks he's talking to the dead mom? And what's going to happen to this kid? Just, oh God, it was a terrible movie. Do not watch this movie if you're in any way upset, depressed, or whatever. I don't know. It was a terrible movie, and we were all of us were transfixed by it. Josie was transfixed, I was transfixed, and her daughter Jenny was transfixed. It was just a movie it was like watching a car wreck. You can't pull your eyes away as you're scraping the motorcycle driver off the road. You need to see that. You need to see the completion of it. But it was just a horrifying scene. So after this, I told Josie, you know something? I got to go to a party in my place. All right. There's a party again. These people want me there, so we have to go. So Josie doesn't want to go. She just wants to sit and watch movies, get the kids, send the kids to their rooms, and we just watch movies. But I know I needed to go. I promised I'd go, and yeah. So we ended up going to the movie, ended up going to the party. The party was less than what I was hoping it would be. It wasn't that much fun, and there are a lot of they play Mexican music, and I'm sorry, accordions are not a real musical instrument. It's just, it was bad. The bass was turned up way too high. It just wasn't a great party. The food wasn't even that good, which is something really bizarre. So Josie says, I'm going to take the kids home, and you're never going to get to sleep tonight, which wasn't true. I did end up going to sleep. So we went to sleep, and I got into a fight with Josie. I don't have any idea what I did wrong, but apparently I did something wrong. But as Sunday was a very easy day, I did some carvings. I actually painted my carvings. It was really a good weekend. It was really a good weekend. And on Sunday I sat back. Hold on. On Saturday I sat back. I forgot. I watched the third place soccer game in the Women's World Cup. I know no one thinks much about soccer. I actually like soccer. I played for a long time. I actually really enjoy soccer. So I watched the third place World Cup. England got their ass kicked. They lost to Sweden, which is okay. I don't care. And then the United States played on Sunday. And I can't lie, I wanted the United States to lose. I don't like the United States. I think this is the most arrogant team, anti-American team I ever had seen. And the United States ended up winning 2-0 against the Netherlands. And it was a good game. They played well. But I tell you, the biggest controversy was, first off, that Rapone chick, Rapapone or whatever her name is, just a bad person. Just, I can't stand her. And then there was a lot of controversy after the game. Like, one gal decided that she was going to throw the American flag on the floor while she danced. So you're going to throw the American flag on the floor to dance in front of a camera on Independence Day weekend. The only good news is, and this wasn't brought up a lot, one of her other teammates grabbed the flag from the floor. I thought that was classy. This is just a classless team. It's just a classless team. I did not want this team to win. And that means a lot because I'm a huge USA fan. But this is an example where we need to stop bringing politics in sports. And I don't understand why these people don't understand that most people do not want politics in sports. Megan Rapone, great soccer player. Great soccer player. Thank God this is her last World Cup. And Colin Kaepernick, shitty football player. Okay? She decided to get inspiration from this piece of garbage? This guy hasn't played in 5 years now? I don't understand it. But I had a great weekend. I'm going to have a great podcast tomorrow. You can follow me on Twitter at RunninFool, RunninFewl. You can download this podcast on iTunes, on Podcast Addict, on Podbean, and you can listen to it on YouTube. You can visit my website. You will not see anything special because this is completely off the cuff. But you can visit my website at www.dumbassestalkingpolitics.com. I hope you had a great night. I really enjoyed doing this tonight. And I'm beginning to wonder if maybe I should just frickin' do this more often. Just talk off the cuff, but sometimes I need a little bit more of a script in there to help me out. You folks have a great night. Happy Independence Day. America is 200 and some odd years old. And this is Gene. You're listening to Dumbasses Talking Politics.